Tonight, Brown County leaders could take a step to regulate future data center projects. A proposed moratorium could pause development while officials gather information and consider what guardrails may be needed. Drew Best joining us live with a preview of tonight's discussion. Drew.
Cami, the meeting is set to begin about an hour from now, and it's the latest of several discussions regarding how to regulate large-scale data center projects. And these have been happening all over the state, and questions about water use, energy demand, and oversight have emerged as local leaders try to balance economic development with infrastructure and environmental concerns. The moratorium facing Brown County's Planning, Development, and Transportation Committee would expire only when proper regulations can be enforced. According to Brown County Supervisor Christopher Welch, who proposed the moratorium, this discussion is not tied to any specific development plan coming to the county. He tells Action 2 News this moratorium would also allow time to see what decisions state legislators could make regarding data centers long term. Any past recommendation tonight would still need full approval from the county board in order to be made official. We'll break down this discussion later on Action 2 News at 10. Reporting live in Green Bay, Drew Best, Action 2 News.